Hey everybody, give me 1 second. We had a bit of a time delay, but
Sorry.
we are here to draw for Monster Art School. Da 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 da. And so Luna chose the theme this week, which was creatures of Norse mythology, right, Luna?
Yeah.
So we haven't chosen what the creature is going to be today, have we? Well, it's Norse mythology. So we can do a creature or we can do a god. Do you have any thoughts, Luna?
I just want to do,
You just want to do Fenris, right?
Yeah.
But that's a wolf, and we've done a bunch of wolves.
I don't care. Actually, you haven't.
We've done at least 2 or 3. We did a wolf last week. We did a wolf with wings last week. Right? So are you going to join us, or are you going to stay over there?
I just want to see.
Okay. I didn't get my sign. I don't know where my sign went. So we're just going to be signless today. Well, here, I'll show my old sign. My there you go. Here's the sketch. Monster Art School. Okay, everyone. So, Norse mythology is one of my favorite mythologies. Luna, you gonna come and draw?
Yeah, I'm coming to draw.
Okay. And
Draw.
so Luna was asking for me to draw Fenris Wolf today. I think she just wants to draw wolves. So she's being like wolfy today.
Yeah.
So Fenris Wolf is what? Do you know anything about Fenris?
Yeah, pencil.
Can you tell me anything about Fenris? Where did all my pencils go? Oh, they're over here.
He accompanied, he is Hell's, Hel.
Mm-hmm.
What's it called?
Who's Hel?
Hel is, Thor's
No, now you're talking about the comics. That's
Oh.
not true. Or movies, actually.
I'm sorry.
No.
I don't know much
Get the
about
mythology
it.
right. So Loki had 3 children with a giantess. One of them was Jormangundr, the world serpent. The other was Hel, the she was half dead. So on one side she looked like a skeleton, and the other side she looked like a full-grown, a normal girl. And then there was Fenris. And Fenris, at the end of the universe, you know what Fenris does? Swallows the moon.
For daytime, right?
And he kills, he swallows, and he kills Odin.
Yeah.
And you know who kills Fenris? Not a god you've probably ever heard of before. Because he's not big in the movies. He's not in the Marvel movies. So
Yeah, I don't know much about Norse myth.
Yep, the god who kills Fenris Wolf, his name is Freyr.
Oh, that one.
Yep,
That
he's
person.
Freya's brother.
Oh, fair. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm getting really, really rich.
There's Freya and Freyr. So, are we going to draw a Fenris Wolf today?
Actually, no. Let's do,
We got to make a decision quick, guys.
Jormangundr.
Jormungandr? We're going to do the world serpent. Okay. All right, everyone. So let's do Jormungandr. All right. Now, so the first thing we know about Jormungandr, right, is you know what?
Jormungandr.
Jormungandr is that Odin. Oh wait, where'd your paper go? I gave you a piece.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did. I put it there. Oh wait,
Did you put it
maybe
here?
it's up there.
Did you put it here?
No, that's not your paper. Oh well. Who knows? Just grab a sheet and go. Oi, just grab it. It's okay. Go for it. Take it.
No.
All right, we gotta get started drawing here, or we're never gonna get started. Okay, so
Haha. I found a piece of paper.
the thing we know about Jormungandr is what? How did Jormungandr get into the ocean? Do you know?
I don't know.
Well, the story goes that Odin saw the 3 children of Loki, and he grabbed Jormungandr and chucked him into the ocean. What?
Trost asked, what exactly is Norse mythology?
Can we do a monster cat week? You're confused, Camille?
No, it doesn't say anything, Camille.
Yeah.
But Tiana Trost said, what
That's
exactly
Tiana
is
Trust
Norse-
is Camille. So
Tiana
Jormungandr
Trost is there with her.
is a serpent because Camille has been answering for her, I think, is a serpent that wraps around the earth. It lives in the ocean and wraps around the earth. And Odin, the god, the leader of the gods of the Norse mythology, threw Jormangundr into the ocean, and then he quickly grew to envelop the entire world. So how do we draw a snake creature that wraps around the world? What do you think?
Start with a circle first.
Are you going to draw the world? The whole world?
No.
No, I don't think we can draw the whole world.
I
So maybe
we should just do the globe. Like a
well,
Polish globe.
I think what we're going to do is this. We're going to draw... So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw an arc like this. Okay? And that's going to represent kind of the beginnings of what we're going to do for the world. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to draw... Let's draw an oval right here. See what I'm doing, Lena? You're drawing the whole world. You're good. I see what you're doing. Okay, that's cool. I'm not going to do that. I'm doing it differently. So now what we're going to do is from here, I'm going to go up this way, come down,
Yeah, you see what I was doing?
and then up this way, and then that way. All right? Now, it'll make sense what we're doing in a little bit. Next step is we're going to draw up, down, and up and down. Can you see these marks, guys? So the way I'm going to show that this creature goes around the entire world is we're not going to see the whole world, because if we saw the whole world, it'd be a little tiny drawing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show Jormungandr's head here. And I'm going to do...
What I can see, that light needs to be turned off.
Okay, I'll shut it off.
Because, like, from the...
Can you guys not see? All right, that's better. Okay, anyway. So now what we're going to do is we're going to draw this oval. We're going to draw... I'm going to cut this oval. I'm going to make like a smiley face right here. See, I'm going to make a big smile on that oval right there. And then on the front, on the top of that smile, I'm going to draw a line that splits here. Okay? All right. It's a little light. I'm sorry. Maybe because I'm being too sensitive. Yeah, it needs to be like this, I guess. You know what it is? It's the light out in the sun is not, I mean, the sun is being dark. Okay, now you're going to knock the table over. All right, now, so what you should see is you should see a line like this.
Get my pencil, Dad.
Yep, and you're goofing off.
I will not rest until I have my pencil.
And we're going to draw some triangles here. You can draw some more triangles like that, some triangles like this. And then we're going to draw a curve like that, a curve like this, and a curve like that. Luna, you're not helping. And then right here, so we drew that smile across the bottom there. And we're going to draw another line across the top, about halfway from the top to the bottom. And we're going to put a sphere here and a sphere here. And those are going to be where we're going to put the eye sockets. And then under here, I'm going to draw a triangle like that, maybe curve it off. And then we're going to create a shape out like this.
Jormungandr is a serpent, right? Should he have like a
And like
snakish
this.
mouth?
He should have a snakish mouth, I think. And then we're going to go outside to make sure I'm making this wide enough here. So it should look like a big smiley face right now. I have a weird big smiley face. Now, unfortunately, I don't have my good pencil with me. I have the wrong pencil. Here we go. Now, what we're going to do is... Oh, that's why, because I was using the darker pencil. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make these circles a little bigger, and we're going to draw a line maybe like a half an inch or less above here. Well, yep. So we're going to draw a line here, and we're going to flatten this area out.
Oh, Jamie Lee Newell
Like that.
said, ha ha ha, my mind is singing the opera house on his back in your drawing.
Okay. Anyway, so we're now going to draw out here to this edge, and we're going to draw out here to this edge, like so. with these circles, we're going to go up, and we're going to draw around like this. We're going to go up and around like this. I know it's looking weird right now, but you'll see soon what it's going to look like. Now at the corners of these squares, we're going to go up and down and create kind of a boomerang shape here, like that. And then in here, we're going to draw a second line inside, and then we're going to draw a third line in there, like that. And now, on these, we can draw up, like so. In here, we're going to darken this line here. And we're going to bring it around like so. And we're going to darken this here, and I'm going to bring it around like that. So what this is going to be the eye socket, okay? And we're going to make another line right there and fill this in dark. I'm going to bring another line in here and fill this crescent in dark. So now, up here, this is like the ridge of his eyebrow over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go around and out, and that's going to form the scales of his serpent head here. And we'll do the same out here. And keep them...
What's his name? What's his face?
Like triangles like this.
Jormangundr.
Jormangundr, yeah. Jormangundr.
J-O-R.
Man, Jorman. Gun, Gun. Dr. Now, around this nostril shape, we're going to do another one. So it's this, we have this boomerang shape here. We're going to draw another one out here like this. But we're only going to make it a thin single line like that. And we're going to bring it together in the middle like that. So now it should start looking like a snake face. We can start getting rid of these lines. And now out here where we brought this out, we can bring this up a little higher if we want. I think that'll make it look a little more threatening. So now you can see the top of the head shape like that. And then we're going to draw fangs. And when I draw fangs, basically I'm just drawing kind of pointy cones that have curved edges.
What was that beeping?
I have no idea. But I don't think it has anything to do with us, so I'm not worried about it. And the bottom of his chin, instead of being curved, what we're going to do is we're going to straighten it out like this. And we can put some more teeth in here. Angrboda? That's Angrboda is his mother.
Loki.
She's the giantess, yeah. And Loki is his father. So now, let's get the lower jaw of the snake in here. Now, some people see him as a snake. Some people see him as a dragon. I'm just kind of going with snake today. If you caught me on a different day, I might draw Jormungandr as a dragon. I don't know. Just kind of whatever feels cooler or what feels like right that day.
Dad?
Yeah? What?
It says Odin took Loki's 3 children by Angrboda, the wolf, Fenris.
What are you reading?
It's on Wiki.
Oh, okay.
Wolf, Fenrir, Hel, and Jormungandr.
Mm-hmm.
And tossed Jormungandr to the great ocean that encircles Midgard.
Which is what I told you.
That is not true.
That's what I told you.
No. Freyr did that.
No.
Freyr tossed him in the ocean.
No, Odin did.
Really?
Yeah, Odin
Oh, I
did.
thought you told me that.
No, Odin. No, Freyr kills him at the end of Ragnarok.
Oh.
I mean, no, Freyr doesn't kill the Jormangundr. Freyr kills Fenrir. Thor kills Jormangundr.
Oh.
And then Thor dies.
Aye.
So, okay. So let's go up here. We're going to draw these kind of crazy, curvy, triangular horn type things. And I think we'll have some more out here just to make them look a little bit more interesting and demonic. Kind of want to go for a snaky dragon creature. So we're going to put some horny kind of textures on them like this. You can just make them kind of, don't make them stripes. Give them a little bit of like angle to them. So they have a little bit more, like they have a point to them. Gives them a little bit more three-dimensional quality. Because if you just make single stripes, they're going to look like stripes. Yeah, it's just going to look like, he's wearing striped socks or something. And then up here we can throw some more little kind of horns over here. And we can throw some more kind of designs out here. Now, how is this guy a world serpent, right? Well, what we're going to do here is we're going to start drawing back. I'm going to put a diamond shape there, and you'll see what that is in a second as we do this one. So we'll make a slightly different diamond shape there, and we'll pull a curve back like this. And now we'll make another diamond shape. That's a little bit more like a fin, see? And then we're going to bring that curve all the way around. So basically you draw a curve and then this triangle kind of shape on top, and you can make these little triangles to a diamond shape here. And now this, as this goes back, okay, this goes to a mountain. So remember these triangles that we drew earlier, these big triangles? Those are mountains. So I wanted Jormungandr looking over a mountain. And then we'll have another mountain here. Whoops, here. So we'll draw him going back into the distance. And we'll have another mountain here. Remember that second hump? Let's put in there. And we're going to go like this. Now look very specifically. It's like a half circle, kind of oval kind of shape there, and then a partial line like that. Okay? And why we're doing that is to create the idea that this is him going into the distance. So on here, I'm going to draw more of those triangle kind of scale shapes. And they get smaller and smaller as they disappear into the background. And then we'll draw another mountain and another mountain. Like that. We'll just draw more triangle mountains. And we can throw another circle there, or not half circle, half ellipse there. And we'll draw a center line down that. And we'll do more of these triangles back here. And see, the tinier we make these triangles, right? By using this shape up here for these kind of fins, the more we make them get smaller as they go into the distance, the more they feel like we're looking at something that's really far away. So if I do another coil back here that's going over this mountain back here, I can make these even tinier. So they'll be little tiny triangles on top. And those kind of give the sense that this creature is really, really long and going back into the distance. And so way back here at the back of this piece, way in the back, what we can do to make it different. Can you close the door, Luna?
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling there's going to be a loud conversation out there, and I don't want that to happen. So now as we get further back, you could just keep going and adding more coils going back into the distance like that. See, Luna? That's why I was doing it this way. So then the idea is that you should just get the impression that this creature just goes on forever and ever and ever and ever. But the problem is we don't really know because we can't tell what the scale is yet of this creature, right? Like, we don't really know, like, how big is this guy? So part of the way we can show scale is by comparison. So the only way to show comparison is to put something around him that we can get an idea of scale, right? And what would give us a big scale, Luna, in this drawing to make us know that this is a gigantic dragon? What would we compare it to? Well, we could do that, but then our eyes can only see about 7 miles, so we're not going to see that far. Yeah. So if we draw, let's say we draw. Well, let's get to these mountains real quick. We'll focus on these mountains a little bit. So what we want to do with the mountains is we're going to go to the corner, the tippy top corner here, and we'll go down, and we'll just kind of create a zigzag like that. And each time we create a zigzag, try and think that you're drawing big, craggy mountains. And every once in a while, you can draw a line coming down from these big, craggy mountains like this. And so here's another one. Here's another one over here. And we can do another zigzag. Just kind of bring the zigzags down like this, all kind of going in the same direction. And then every once in a while, you can have another piece that goes down like this. That kind of makes it look like big, craggy mountains. And as we get further in the back, you can do more of these going like this. And some more crags for the mountains. And as we get even further back, we can draw more of these. We can have more mountains going off like this. And they don't have to all be flat, pointed like this. Like, you can have different shapes if you like. Like, sometimes mountains don't have just one point. It could be like 1 and then 2, like that. So you can have it go like this, and you can make another piece that goes like this as the craggy mountains go farther into the distance. And back here, they're so far away, we don't even see the crags. We just see the silhouette of the mountains. And so we can just kind of shade that in a little bit back there to kind of make the mountains appear like they're way off in the distance. But we don't want to get too dark with the shading. We want it to be just kind of a light tone back there, because when we want to keep our darks for the front of the drawing. Okay? So we're just going to tone this back like that. And we'll fill in some more of these triangles back here that are behind the dragon. And as you see, what happens is the dragon's going to start showing up between the mountains. See, I think Jormangundr is so big that we wouldn't even see him because he's so big. We just see these big, what would appear to be mountains, and he would just disappear into the mountains. So now we have to choose, is the light coming from this side or is the light coming from that side? I think we're going to have the light come from this side. So all of these mountains, I'm going to do a light tone from these, a little darker than that tone. So we'll get a little darker here. And we'll get a little darker over here. I'm going to bring it right up to the snake, like this, right up to his body. Okay. And then with these mountains here, we'll get even darker. We can make this get to really dark. And you just want the darkest area right on the edge between the dark and the light. And then you can get a little bit less dark as you get down towards the bottom. As long as the edge is nice and dark, you're good. And so we'll do the same here. We'll just make this dark, and we'll bring that edge darkest right between the light and the shadow. We'll make that the darkest area. And then we'll bring this down like this. And we can do the same over here. Okay, so now we have this front mountain. This front mountain, we're going to get really dark on this edge between light and dark here. And I'm trying to control it so I don't get too crazy, but We want it to be really dark here. And then we'll get this midtone down here. A midtone means a tone in between white and black. So a color or a value or a gray tone in between black and white is a midtone. So anything in the gray area is a midtone. And then we'll do the same over here. We'll let this go dark and bring the darkest area between the two. So what should happen is, by doing these areas, the mountains are going to show up in between our drawing. Meaning, what's going to happen is these light areas in between, like these light areas become the mountains. In between the shadow areas. So we'll end up having areas like this. And then you can draw a little detail on this, like this, just to give some more texture to the mountain. So the mountain feels like you're getting a little bit more detail in there. Now, the dragon, he's going to cast a shadow on this mountain. So now, this is where he starts to look like he's really enormous. So we're going to put this shadow here over the mountain. We're going to let it get really dark. And then under here, I'm going to put a shadow under there for his body. And then we're going to shade the far side of the dragon's body over here. So every time we're on this side of the body, on the right side of the body, we're going to give it a shade. Like this. And these triangles, at this point, would get pretty dark back here. So we'll let those get dark. And they can cast a shadow on the side of the dragon like that. See? You just create a longer, thinner triangle along the back of the dragon. Now it's going to create this sense of that these scales that are sticking up are really, really big. So let's get that in there. What? And then same here. These ones are white on this side. I'm not droning on and on. I'm talking. You're so mean to me.
But you're so
I'm so boring.
You're so
Bob Rossi.
Bob Rossi, yeah.
Well, here, we'll put a happy little scale over here and a happy little scale over there. And oh, look at over here. We'll put another little happy scale. So by creating these nice little areas where these shadows come through, they're going to create these fun, like almost rib effects, right? And that's going to give us kind of a neat effect on the figure. So we can do, let's darken this here, and we can darken this. So now what you're going to see is these start to come forward, these areas, and you're going to have these darker areas where the triangles are, or the fins are, I guess, on his back. And then...
Daddy, want to adjust your camera a little bit? Nobody can see.
No one can see anything?
Nobody can see the whole page.
Well, the page is too big, sorry. I'm rolling it around there. It's kind of hard to do that.
Dad,
That's what I get for having too big a piece. You asked to draw. I'm not gonna put a wig on him.
Yes, an afro. Come on.
No. You asked me to draw something that's bigger than the world. What do you expect? It's gonna get bigger than the paper. So now I'm going to erase some of these extra lines in here. And I'm going to start to decide where's my light coming down on him. So again, same thing. If the light's coming from this side, everything on this side of the dragon is going to be in shadow. So I'll make this all darker. It doesn't have to be super dark, just a little dark, right? Just a little dark. Get it all the way up to here. And then these shapes, these triangles, will get really dark. So they're going to get really dark. like so. And then we can send down shadows from those really dark triangles into it like this. We'll create the same sense of like those stripes, but what it's really made out of is it's the shadow from the spike sticking up. So if you really want to make these look three-dimensional, what we can do is we can carve a little bit of light out of here, create what you would call a rim lighting on the edge here. Whoa! I'll switch pencils now. That's what happens when you drop a pencil. Just always have another one in your hand. So now...
You always have another one in your hand, I'm just saying.
What? What'd you say?
You always have another one in your hand.
I do. So if I drop my pencil, I always have another one. Exactly right. So now under here, we're going to draw the underside of his belly here. And we see the mountains coming forward. And we can get in here and really shade this up. Now, the fun part about this is this part of the dragon right now is just kind of the bare bones of it. So now we can get into really making the dragon fun. So part of what makes the drawing fun is the life you give the drawing. So now that we have the kind of the basic parts of the drawing in here, we can start really getting crazy with some of the details and some of the more... where's my eraser? We can really start getting into the details and some more of the like fun lines. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get rid of some of these extra lines here and here. I'm going to go in. I'm going to finish up some of this shading that I did. Make it a little bit more complete looking. And then we'll start with the back here. We'll go back here and we'll just start to draw, just make this stuff a little bit cleaner, meaning a little bit more sharp edges, so it's very clear. And then I'm going to draw down the surface of the snake, these little ridges of scales. And since it's so far away from us, I'm not going to make them very detailed. They're just going to kind of go off into the distance here. Like that. And then this one, I'm going to make them a little bit bigger because it's it's closer to us. And we'll just give it kind of ridges going back down. And we'll clean up these lines. The ridges will go off into the distance. Then over here, we'll give the spines a little bit of a depth by adding a third. Just making sure it's nice and clear. You want to get rid of like any random open spaces and any random light spaces in there because you want them to just be super solidly clear that this is a tone on the dragon's body. And any of those random white spaces will kind of leave you with a gap, and you don't want gaps. And back here, I'm just going to let this part of the dragon's body just blend right into the mountains back here. Because why not? This too. Let it blend right into the mountain. And where it comes out of the mountain is going to be where we just see the light hitting the dragon. See? So now we're going to do the same here. Tone all this stuff back. And really, it's using the side of your pencil is really what makes this work. So now, here, I'm going to darken this in here, but really, where this hits the mountain is going to be the darkest spot. Oh, wait, it's not actually hitting the mountain there. There, it's hitting the mountain here. That's going to be the darkest spot in the dragon in that area, is where it comes over the mountain here. So we want to make sure it's nice and black in there, and maybe we'll have a little bit of piece of mountain coming out into the light here. What are you doing, Luna?
something.
No, what are you doing? Am I boring
I'm
you?
searching stuff up on.
Oh, okay. Now,
Oh, it's blipped out.
what?
It says it's blipped out.
It's doing fine now. He blipped out? It's blipped out. I don't know what you're talking about. It's blipped out. I don't know what that means. It's still live according to this. So.
Kill Sisters Quinn said, let's see my drawing. It's not that well. That's probably because I haven't been.
You haven't been drawing.
Yeah. Penelope got. Oh, wait, no, that's Camille. Sorry.
What's blipped out? I don't understand.
I don't know, but Jamie Lee Newell said it's just blipped out.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
Well, Jamie Lee Newell said it's blipped out.
Okay.
She just said that.
I see that, Lena. And I'm saying I don't know what that means. So, all right. Let's just get... Here we go. Stop playing with the dice. Those are really loud. We're going to create these ridges on his back here. That's okay. It's just they're really, really loud and they make it hard to hear. So we'll draw around like this. We really want to give the impression of these scales. And we want to cast the other side over here into shadow where the triangles on his back cast a shadow. Remember, you make it longer and thinner. Like that. And now we're almost at the head. So once we get up here to the head, let's get this darker a little bit. Make that a little darker in there because that's where the dragon's body folds over. I'll try and make this a little bit more of a tone. So what I do is I keep drawing over an area over and over again so it gets rid of the pencil marks. So the more I draw over it, the more the pencil marks disappear and the more it looks like a value rather than marks. And that's what I really want. Is I don't want it to look like marks when I'm done. I want it to look like an area of a certain gray tone. So there. So now let's get Jormangundr in here. So now,
But isn't Jormangundr already in there?
well, I'm gonna get his face in there, okay? So right now I'm kind of a little bored by the way the mouth is. I feel like the mouth is kind of fine. I feel like the mouth is kind of not really exciting. So don't knock me because I just hit the camera with my face.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So now I'm going to erase this line here. I'm going to keep it, but I want to erase it lightly. I'm going to come in and I'm going to go down here and I'm going to come back up like that. Because snakes have this little upper lip area like this. And we're going to bring the scales around like that. And I want to make sure that I keep the upper part of his head separate up here. What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? I want to make sure that there's scales like this up here. Now, we have to keep in mind that there's this shadow here. So let's make everything that is on this side of the dragon in the shadow. What's going on, sweetie? Luna, what's going on?
Oh, nothing.
Was it Jacob?
Yeah.
What was his problem now?
He didn't have a problem.
Okay, what was he doing?
Saying hi.
Oh. Well, that's nice of him. Okay, so I'm going to make the line, again, I'm going to make the line between the dark and the light the darkest spot. So right here between the two. And then I'm going to do the same over here. So I'll make this, I'm going to make a curved arc here so I can really separate this out and make it nice and dark in here. And wherever it gets really small and detailed, like in here, like around the eye. We'll make it the darkest area. Out here, because there might be some light catching this, I'll make this a little lighter. And then here, I'm going to say that some of the light's getting on this. Yeah, cool, I like it. It's right on the edge there. And I'm going to make this, the eye's going to cast a shadow down, or the eye ridge is going to cast a shadow down over his face. And then we can bring shadow along like this. And then we'll darken this side of his nose. And we can even darken the ridge of his nose right here. It's a lovely noise you made with your nose.
Shush.
Shush.
Face.
Shush face.
Shush face.
So now what we should have is this kind of
Shush face poke.
shape that makes this kind of like crescent in, and then it comes out over here. And we'll do the same as we come around like this. We'll start to draw around. Now, what I like to do is, right now these lines are very hard edged, and I think what I want to do is I want to make them a little softer. So the way you do that is you get your eraser out and you can break the lines up, getting rid of some of the more solid finish lines like that. What?
Will you separate them?
Yeah, to some degree. You get rid of some, see, look what I'm doing, Luna. See this? You get rid of some of the lines that are connecting lines, and it makes them feel a little bit less like you're outlining everything, and it makes it feel more like there's, I don't know, some variety in the world.
Oh.
So here we'll go. Oop, what?
Oh, nothing. My back just broke.
Okay. And so here we can draw over the scales, kind of make it feel a little bit more like soft material. Since this side of the eye socket's gonna, this side of the eye ridge is gonna cast a shadow onto his forehead like that. But since it doesn't stick up very high on this side, it's not gonna cast that big of a shadow. Thank you for that. Wonderful. So then over here, we're going to darken in here because, again, the eye ridge goes under and blocks out the shadow underneath. Is the glorp really necessary?
No.
Okay. So now I'm going to draw these kind of softer scale lines. And what I mean by softer is I'm not being as exacting with them. What? I'm going to keep going until I'm done with the drawing.
Okay.
All right.
Might be tomorrow.
No, it won't be. And you can just kind of add textures on it like so. But you don't need to finish these lines. Just keep them nice and light, right? Because if you finish them, they're going to look too solid. So all these can be softer and a little bit more like impressions of lines than complete lines.
Have any like birthdays that we can celebrate?
I don't know. We should ask. Is that what you were doing? You were asking?
Yeah.
So does anybody have any birthdays this week? If you do, I think we're going to do, should we do an art giveaway this week, Luna?
Maybe.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So maybe we got to figure out how we can do an art giveaway. If people want one of the pieces from earlier this week, I'll figure out a piece to give away tomorrow. And so we'll talk about what piece we're going to give away tomorrow. And then we'll decide how we're going to do it. We'll make some sort of a contest or something like that. All right, so now we can create ridges up here.
The 18th of May, Jamie?
What about the 18th of May? That's her birthday?
No, yeah, I don't know. I think it's either Sam's or her,
No, Sam just had her
anybody
birthday.
in her family's birthday.
So Sam just had her birthday.
it's in May 8th. May 18th, right?
So any of these forms, like this one here, we want to put a darker shape underneath it to make it come forward. And this one over here will just make it go black because it's all the way out of the light. So all this area down here can just go to dark.
Yep, May 18th. So
Okay,
let's figure
great.
out what the 18th.
How about we just that's far enough away that we don't have to worry about it just yet. So now we'll get this drawing in here. And what I'm doing now is I'm just basically, since all the light's coming from this side over here, I want everything that's away from that light, if it's curving away from it,
Oh man!
to get dark.
Ouch!
What are you doing?
I just popped my neck.
Why'd you do that?
Well, it wasn't on purpose.
Okay. You sure? Looked, you were trying.
Trying to roll my head around.
Ah.
But it actually feels
And then we'll have an ear over here, or a horn, or whatever this is.
or a hole.
We'll make sure this is nice and shadowed over here. I think tomorrow we'll have to do a little bit more simple drawing, because this one got really intense really quickly.
Yeah.
And you got
Maybe we could do
really
North
out of it.
Smiths.
What?
They're not copyrighted.
Yep, North Smiths are not copywritten. No one owns them. And I'm doing them, and we're also doing them in a way that no one else is drawing them. I've never seen anyone draw them like this before, which may be a bad thing. I don't know. I decided to do something a little different, and who knows? We'll see. Everyone may hate it, and then, you know, no one will want to do the drawing anymore. And then we'll be all alone tomorrow.
Sad.
That would be sad.
If we were all alone tomorrow, I don't think we'd do it at all anymore.
I would still do it. I would
Really?
do it. Yeah, I'll do it. Let's see. It does make it nicer when you have other people doing it with you. So now we'll go make the bottom of this darker. So basically anything that goes away from the light, we're going to make dark. So the light's up here. Anything that's away from that light is going to go dark. So now you should have something that kind of has this
I'm hiding the treasure.
sense of light and dark, light, whoa, like a rhythm of light, dark, going all the way back through the drawing.
Glorp, 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 glorp.
What's with the glorp?
Just cause. Glorp, 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 glorp. Splotch, glorp.
So what do you think, Lynn? Is this done? Yeah, you think it's done now?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it needs some more darker darks. What do you think about that?
Eh.
I think maybe a few more darker darks. And then it'll be done. So I'm going to get a darker pencil.
A darker pencil.
A darker pencil. A
Glorp.
dorker pencil.
Glorp.
Get it?
Glorp,
Dorker.
splotch. Glorp,
And I'm going to
splotch.
go in with my darker pencil.
Splotch.
My darker pencil. And I'm going to go,
Glorp, splotch,
and just
splotch,
put-
splotch, glorp.
shh. I'm trying to talk, and if you're just going to make noise that doesn't mean anything, it's not very helpful. If you're going to actually talk, that's great. But if you're just going to say glorp, it's not going to help. So I'm just going to choose the darkest areas on the picture. And I'm going to make those, the darkest things that I imagine on the picture are going to be the darkest. So the bottom of the chin over here, where it hangs over the mouth, the inside of the eye sockets here, the inside of the nostril there. Anywhere where the light just can't get in. And what happens is when you do that, what'll happen is the darker area will make the lighter area next to it come forward in the picture and be more prominent. What are you doing, Luna?
So I went to Wiki.
Uh-huh.
And I did put in Wiki.
You didn't put in Wiki? What'd
No,
you put
I
in?
did I literally wrote Wikipedia.
Okay.
It literally has a definition for Wikipedia.
Well, that's good. I'm
In
glad.
Wikipedia.
Well, I'm glad because, you know, at least At least they're, you know, treating everyone the same way. I don't know, just being obnoxious. So, anywhere that I want to have a really dark area, I'm going to go in and use my really dark pencil. And that should make it feel even more three-dimensional and dark. Okay, I think, unfortunately, sometimes things don't work out the way you expect. And this is one of them. But I kind of like some of the ideas that are going on in here. I like these ridges. I like all that stuff. The dragon's face, not so happy about. But maybe we'll come back to Jormangundr another day and try and do something a little bit more fun, because this was not quite what I would have liked to do with it. But I hope you still had fun drawing with us. Like, sometimes a drawing isn't always, you know, doesn't always work out the way you hoped. This is still pretty fun, but it's not my favorite drawing in the world. But anyway, I hope you have a great day, and I have to go sack out because I just worked all day and I'm really tired. So have a great day, everyone, and I'll be here tomorrow. It'll be better tomorrow, I think, and I will... Tomorrow, let's see, should we do Fenris or should we do Sleipnir or one of the dwarves? What do you think, Luna? Well, anyway, we'll do something from Norse mythology tomorrow. See you later, guys.
Oh, you're welcome, Jamie.